Greetings, fellow Earthlings and viewers across the World Wide Web. This is Tune 215. And right now, we're in the state of Pennsylvania. We're currently in the city of Philadelphia. Today, we're going to be doing a walk of Girard Avenue. Right now, we're at the intersection of Front and Girard. We're at the very intersection of the Old Kensington neighborhood and the Northern Liberties neighborhood. What I want to accomplish with this video today is I want to walk westbound on Girard Avenue so that you guys can see what Girard Avenue looks like. I have showed Lehigh Avenue several times. I've showed Spring Garden. I've showed Allegheny. I haven't spent too much time documenting Girard Avenue itself. I have did all the neighborhoods that Girard Avenue run through, but I haven't specifically focused on a walking tour of Girard Avenue. So we're gonna do a walk westbound. We just got off of the Girard Blue Line train station. The weather's pretty nice right now. It's about a cool 76 degrees. Sweater weather. We're passing Howard and Girard. We had the 15 bus just travel by us. It's traveling eastbound. On my right hand side, we have the Old Kensington neighborhood. On my left hand side, we have the Northern Liberties neighborhood. They are separated by Girard Avenue. We have some empty lots that will be renovated soon. Somebody's gonna end up buying them and doing some construction there. On my left hand side, they're doing some construction and they have a huge crane. See that crane? Huge crane. That crane is gigantic. Reminds me of the crane from the video games like GTA. We're passing a business called Primary. This is a plant-based eatery on my right hand side at 161 West Girard. We're passing Hancock Street. We have Laser Remedy hair removal on our right, which looks like they provide body waxing and all that stuff and laser removal. We have a CBD business, check it out. We just passed the tattoo parlor. On our left, we have a huge shopping center. This is at the intersection of 2nd and Girard. Huge shopping center. Fine wine and good spirit. There's a Petco. There's a Urgent Care, an Acme. On my left-hand side, that building on the corner, that's new. That's less than a year old. They literally just constructed that. There was a little pizzeria on the corner, but I guess they bought out the pizzeria and they knocked it down and they ended up making that. So what they did there was they built upwards, and behind the pizzeria there was a huge empty lot, so they took that whole entire block right there. So that's a new construction in the area. This is relatively new. That was made within the last 20 years. We have this original building right here. It's a beautiful building that they use for Hyperion Bank. Right now we're at 2nd Street. We're gonna allow 2nd Street traffic to pass. On my right hand side in the Old Kensington neighborhood, there's also a lot of construction going on. You can see several buildings being made and or modern buildings that are more modern than the original ones from the neighborhood. Check it out. Then you got what looks to be like a conquistador or something on his horse. It looks like we got a lot of school students getting out. Looks like middle school, maybe freshman year high school probably. We're capturing footage in 4K Ultra HD. Feel free to adjust your video resolution in your YouTube settings browser. Click the little gear wheel and a drop down menu will show you your options where you can change the aspect ratio, the playback speed, resolution, and all that cool stuff. We're passing Germantown Ave. We're on Girard and Germantown Ave. Check out this new building over here. Look at that new building. That whole block is new. That whole block is relatively new. When you're in this zip code, this is, I believe, the 19122 zip code. The property values go for a lot more here. You're talking about 500,000 and up. On the low end, might be 350, 400,000 for an older home, but they go upwards of 500, 600, 700,000. Especially as you cross over into Northern Liberties. We have a UPS here. This UPS is pretty new. It's a pretty new building. It's been there for probably, I would say, within the last decade and a half. I've used it on a few occasions to ship stuff. You got the 5 bus over there. We're passing 3rd Street. You got a giant mural over there. You see it says "Respect Black Lives." Huge mural. We have the Indigo rental bicycles right here, and then you got a nice mosaic mural. Well, I guess you could call them like murals, but a mosaic artwork on the wall done with tiles. See how it makes pictures. This is the health center. This is health center 6. This is a free clinic. So let's say if you didn't have health insurance and you needed to get some dental work, or you needed an emergency service, or just you needed medical care, you could come here if you're in the city of Philadelphia and if you're a resident. I don't know about people who are not residents, but I know if you're a resident, you can come here and seek resources, medical resources. You know how the doctor bills can be very costly. There's a Philadelphia graffiti artist that writes 20 grand everywhere. Check that out right there. You see that? See how it's literally like 20 grand, like $20,000? $20,000,000. Yeah, he writes that everywhere. Look at that. New buildings. All those buildings are new. This block had a lot of vacancies, as you can see on the left. And then as we walk, you'll see that on 4th and Girard, wow, there was a pizzeria there. I just realized that they bought the little pizzeria that was there. Yo, my bad, y'all. I just had to like intake and process, because remember, before 2-3 months ago, I was traveling across the country, so I was gone from Philly for about a year. So I didn't even realize that they bought out the little pizzeria. There was like a little Mexican style pizzeria, a little Italian Mexican style type of pizzeria here right next to this fire station, and they bought it out and they ended up making that being probably another luxury apartment housing space. As you can see, it's a huge space, so they'll probably fit maybe 100 residents, give or take. You got CarQuest, Girard Auto Parts on my right. This place has been here for quite some time. This is like a mom and pop shop to my knowledge. Like, they still hire locally, and you can still find, like, now hiring. See, look at Help Wanted, boom. They've been around for quite some time. They're one of the oldest ones. That one, and there's one on 5th and Erie. There's one on like around Cambria or Indiana and Kensington. There's a couple original old automotive businesses that's in the Philadelphia area, and I'm sure on the west side of Philly and south side of Philly, northeast, and so on. There's the original ones, and you got the big box store ones like the Auto Zones, the Advanced Auto Parts, and all that. Which ones do you guys prefer to shop at? The mom and pop ones or the big box stores? There's pros and cons to both. You know, when you support the mom and pop shops, you're supporting the community. However, sometimes their pricing could be a little on the high end because they have to make a profit. While on the other hand, we're passing Lawrence. This is the 1200 block Lawrence. While on the other hand, when you buy from a big box office, you get it for dirt cheap, but you're not really, you know, you're like supporting a bajillion-dollar entity. Look at this church over here. Wow, that's a beautiful shot with the airplane, man. I wish this tree wasn't in the way. I wish that tree wasn't in the way. That was a nice shot, y'all. The airplane just happened to go by. I didn't know the airplane was gonna go by. Yeah, that's St. Peter's, the Apostle Church on our left. That's also a school too. All right, so right now we're passing 5th Street. We're passing 5th Street, 5th and Girard. Now, as we cross over 5th Street, where we're at, once we cross 5th Street, we'll enter the Ludlow neighborhood over there in that direction. L-U-D-L-O-W, Ludlow. So once we go straight, we'll hit the Ludlow neighborhood. Now, if we cross the street and went in that direction, we'll hit the Poplar neighborhood. P-O-P-L-A-R, Poplar. Now, there was actually just somebody gunned down yesterday in Poplar. All right, we're gonna wait for this light to turn green, and then we're gonna continue moving forward. We got a green light, so we're traveling westbound on Girard Avenue. So right now we're in the Ludlow neighborhood. This is no longer classified as Old Kensington. This is Ludlow. Now, if you cross the street and you go over there, that's the Poplar neighborhood. But before 5th Street, when you cross the street over there where that church was at, if you would have went in that direction, that would have been the Northern Liberties neighborhood. So these are invisible lines that the average Philadelphian doesn't care about. No, like nobody really distinguishes those type of boundaries, but they are available online. You can go on Google and check it out and see, you know, what each neighborhood's boundary roughly is. All right, we're passing Randolph. All right, we're at 6th and Girard Ave. You got the Free Library of Philadelphia across the street. That's that building over there with the mosaic artwork. You got Halsman's Pharmacy on our left. Looks like a mom and pop pharmacy. You have a buy gold dealer right here on our right. They've been here for quite some time. And it's like a check cash business. We got the Sunoco. Gas right now is going for $4.49 per gallon here on Girard Avenue. Now, there are cheaper gas stations. Girard Avenue is one of the places in Philly where you might not want to stop to get gas. It's usually overpriced. Girard and also Spring Garden. Spring Garden is kind of overpriced. There's certain areas where they can get away with it because of their proximity to downtown. And those are some of the areas where you're going to be paying top dollar for gasoline. We got a little car wash here, a little private business. This is completely new. This whole entire giant building is new. There was an old factory here, and there was a couple other buildings here. They ended up buying them out and making this, and it's huge. Look at it. It is huge. Look how huge that is. It's so big that like they don't play games. When they come and they build, they really take up a whole block, yo. Brand new. Look at that. Now leasing 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom units. Contact us for more information. And that's an idea of what the units would look like. Pretty much, I guess they try to modernize it with all the basic essentials and amenities that one would need in modern day. I'm assuming smart appliances, all the latest tech, central air, central heat, things like that. We got the outdoor streetery right here on our right hand side. This outdoor streetery is relatively new. Yo, you see this 47 bus right here? See this bus right here? Last year, that bus crashed right here into this building. You see that building? Look like it got some new cement work right there. Matter of fact, look up. You see how it got a whole bunch of new cement work? SEPTA crashed into that building. There was literally a SEPTA bus inside of that building right there last year. you can see it all on the news. I mean, it wasn't like completely in, but it definitely did hit in enough where it caused structural damage and it needed to be repaired. All right, guys, so on the left-hand side, we got a pretty nice building over here. I always liked that building. I've admired it. I think they turned it into a club. It probably originally was a bank. It was made in 1870. But the thing is it looks awesome. It reminds me of like Blade, the movie Blade. Like I'm expecting some bloodsuckers to like host like a rave party in there. That is cool. So Center City, Philadelphia is right there. You can see it peeking from right here on Girard, Franklin and Girard. That's your view of Center City, Philadelphia. It's about 3:30 Eastern time zone. Right now we're passing Franklin. We have a child care right here. And this is another view of that cool building that I thought was pretty nice. See that building? I think that building looks pretty cool. And then look at you see that religious dome over there? That looks cool, right? What's the name of those churches? That right there, you see the thing with the dome? I always forget what's the name of it. Yo, they bought out the building that was right there. I just realized they bought out another building. Yo, that's like a senior housing center over there, Ascension Manor, like assisted living facility. Yo, they bought the gas station too. Dang, somebody playing Monopoly for real. Let me hold a bag, somebody. Let me hold a bag so I can play Monopoly with y'all. Say no, I'm gonna be there soon. I'm here still playing the game of life. Remember life? Remember the board games? I still got board games. Board games are cool. Look at the graffiti up there. You got Gus, which is Gusky, or was it Gusco? My bad. No, is it Gusky? Gusco? Anyway, Gus. And then you got Crep. Those are the names that's up there. Over here, the Behavioral Wellness Center at Girard, Inspiring Hope. To my knowledge, that's like part of a rehabilitation program and like a clinic. I believe it's like a methadone clinic and whatnot. So as we're traveling forward westbound, we're now entering historically what was once gang territory here in Philadelphia back in the 60s and the 70s. We got the Richard Island Projects around the corner on my left-hand side. We're not far from the Richard Island Projects. If you're familiar with the channel, I have documented the Richard Island Projects several times. Daytime, nighttime, walking, driving, winter, summer. So I've documented the Richard Island Projects on several occasions if you want to check that out. But if you're walking through Girard, or if you're traveling through Girard, you're going to pass the Richard Island Projects. Then you got another train track above us. This train track isn't a public transit, I believe. Matter of fact, I think it might be, what is this, y'all? Jamal, what is this, bro? Is this regional rail, or is this like a private entity? Is it Amtrak or something? Anyway, you can see the city over here. Matter of fact, those are the Richard Island Project new homes over there. You got Larry Steaks, 9th Street Marketplace. You got a laundromat. You got some more project buildings on my right-hand side. You can see them standing from afar. But then also in that direction, you got Temple University. Temple University is located in North Philadelphia. It's a college. That building right there they made is brand new. Look, and now leasing luxury space, 1 and 2 beds. We're on Hutchinson. We're passing Hutchinson and Girard. Look at that. On 10th and Girard. And now look at the city. Beautiful shot of the city, right? That's awesome. And that big factory over there, you see that big factory? They rehabilitated that too because that was abandoned. And they brought it back to life. So they're doing a good job with restoring the city. They're doing a good job with it. Some people will beg to defer some of the architectural choices for materials. There's some really funky looking houses. But I guess they're applying the freedom of discussion, the freedom of voice to the freedom of stylization. Like one would stylize their car. They're saying, hey, let me stylize my house the way I would like my house to be stylized. So they're making some really funky houses, but for the most part, everything's coming together. This is dense urban city living. Check that out. There used to be a tennis court there, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not from the area, this whole block was tennis courts. They bought out the tennis courts. I guess they figured they weren't using them as much. And look at, they built this. Visit www.verandaapartmentsphilly.com. Look over here. We have Zion Gardens Apartments, Weaver Manor. We're at 11th and Girard. Now, all up and down Girard, like many avenues that I've toured in Philadelphia, from Washington to Oregon to Snyder to Allegheny to Erie to Hunting Park and so on. There's been robberies, crimes, everything from murders to just wacky events on all these main avenues from year to year. Each avenue has its own story, its own history. Only if that could have been documented, you know? Many things have taken place, especially during the times of segregation. You know, now we're not even really segregated. People don't really stay in their own zone anymore. Now with mobile transportation, you know, you got bicycles, you got cars, you got all these electronic vehicles. You can just go anywhere you want. Most people don't stay home anymore, so now they get out of their, you know, zone. But back then, people used to really stay within their 1 mile square for 20 years and didn't get out. Now you can see the bigger picture. That Plaza door over there has been robbed. There was a Caesar's Pizza there before. It looked like they closed it down, but the Caesar's Pizza has been robbed. They pick horrible places to rob. Most recently, like a week ago, they robbed, I think, in another dollar store. The one, like 3-4 weeks ago, they had robbed it and took a bunch of chocolates, like $50 of chocolates or something. The one that they just did recently, they only got like 200 bucks. So it's like, they don't really have much, you know what I mean? Like in the safes. It's a dollar store. What do you expect them to have? Millions and bajillions of dollars? It's a dollar store, bro. You'd be lucky if they got a $200 day. And there you go, that's the city. So right now we're on the north side of downtown. Facing it from this direction, we're on the north side. If you were on the opposite direction, you'll be on the south side. Now this whole entire block on my right hand side is also new. This block is probably one of the biggest blocks of them all. I was blown away at how quickly they put this together. But they did a whole entire block. This is brand new. And of course, this is going to be living spaces. More than likely, it's going to be living spaces. Over there on our left, we got Kessler's Hardware and Paint. That's a mom and pop type of business. See, since 1946. I've been there on an occasion or two to get some like goods, hardware and stuff that I needed. Sometimes you can't always get it from Home Depot or Lowe's. Sometimes you got to go to like these specialty mom and pop businesses that's been around for a long time. Sometimes they be having like the special tools or the special bolts that you can't get at a regular store. That's another pro. You know, when we're talking about the pros and the cons, we're talking about the pros and the cons of mom and pop businesses versus big box stores. Work in progress. Look, so this is what it's gonna look like. You guys want to know what the permit costs? Permit fee, just to start this process, $72,000 just for the permit, y'all. Just to start it. That goes to show you, for one of the permits, because I bet you there's several permits, because for every aspect of construction you got to get a permit. You got to get a permit for the foundation, you got to get a permit for the roof, you got to get a permit for the brick, you got to get a permit for windows, you got to get a permit for heating and vent, you got to get a permit for all types of stuff. So just in permits alone, they spend an arm and a leg. Alright guys, so we're at 13th Street. We're gonna walk one more block forward and cap it off at Broad Street. Broad Street would be 14th Street, but we ain't really got a 14th Street. On our right hand side, we got a Temple University field. This is pretty new. They added this here, I would say like 6-7 years ago. Maybe 6-7 years ago. Temple University has a lot of real estate on Broad Street. Broad Street would be 14th Street. We don't have a 14th Street. It goes from 13 to 15. Broad Street runs down 14th, but Temple University owns a lot of real estate on Broad Street. And this is some of the real estate. You got a bunch of businesses across the street. We're approaching Watts Street. We're going to be at the intersection of Girard and Watts shortly. I got an RV over here on my right hand side. Check it out. Class A RV inside the McDonald's parking lot. My boy was out on this longboard. He had a longboard that was out. So right now we're at Girard and Broad, and if you stop here at Girard and you look straight up, you face southbound, you'll see City Hall. This is the view from Broad and Girard. There used to be a pharmacy right there, a big box store pharmacy, I think like a CVS or something, or Walgreens or something, and they knocked it down. And then we got a Checkers over here that's abandoned. Got a nice mural. Facing this direction is northbound. If you keep going straight, you'll get to the Philadelphia Zoo.